Good day, everyone. I am Ronald, the moderator for this webinar, and I welcome everybody to today's webinar that is on HIPAA Audits 2024, How to Avoid and Be Prepared. I want to introduce our presenter for today, that is Brian L. Turtle. Brian L. Turtle is a certified professional in health IT, CPHIT, Certified HIPAA Professional, CHP, Certified HIPAA Administrator, CHA, Certified Business Resilience Auditor, CBRA, Certified Information Systems Security Professional, CISSP, with over 17 years of experience in health IT and compliance consulting. Brian serves as a compliance consultant with vast experience in health IT systems and over 22 years of experience in standard health IT with multiple certifications and hands-on knowledge. I would now like to hand over the floor to the speaker. Over to you, Brian.
Thank you very much. So without further ado, let's get started here. We have a little history here on this regulation. We'll start with about where we began to where we are and evolve into the audit process, working from there, what causes audits, what are the ramifications of an audit. We'll look at some real audit letters that I've dealt with, some of the audit protocol that the government goes by for just a random audit. And we'll talk about some of that stuff as we move through this. So a little bit of history. HIPAA has been around a very long time, hard to believe. 1996 is when this thing was signed into law, but known as the Health Insurance Portability Act of 1996, signed into law under Clinton. HIPAA is a massive regulation. Patients have a civil right to know who has viewed their medical records. Patients have a civil right to control who can view their medical records. Patients have a civil right to the privacy and security of those medical records, and patients have a civil right to be notified if there is a breach of those medical records or protected health information in general. It was signed into law back in 1996. The two major co-sponsors, it was a bipartisan bill. So here's the 5 titles. Fines being doled out because that's technology. You're never going to have a massive breach of paper or verbal. It's going to be technological. During those years, that's when OCR was told to enforce the regulation. Makes sense. OCR, Office for Civil Rights, is the enforcement body because, again, it is a civil right. All right, during the Obama years, couple major points here. The 2009 HITECH Act, which was part of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, also known as the Obama stimulus, that added additional teeth to the HIPAA security rule. It started the pilot audit program. The last major overhaul to this regulation was what's called the final omnibus rule, and this was in September of 2013. Multiple HIPAA violations, and what I just mentioned there's 5 or 6 violations of the HIPAA security rule. Transmission security is violated, encryption's violated, data integrity and transmissions violated, information system activity reviews violated, password management's violated, unique user IDs violated. Audits have begun in earnest. Does not matter your size and scope, big, small, short, and tall, we are all at risk. So just a little reference here. 2012, the entire year, $4 million in HIPAA fines. Ticked up to $6.5 million in 2013. All right, could we be fined for HIPAA violations even if a breach doesn't occur? Yes, because this is not just about securing the medical information, it's also about accessibility. All right, business associates. Business associates essentially are individuals or entities that create, receive, maintain, or store medical information on behalf of a covered entity. These days, business associates need to comply directly with the regulation. So real quick about MIPS. The MIPS program essentially replaced the old Meaningful Use program. Meaningful Use programs, what it used to be called, that went away in late 2016, and then we have what's called the MIPS program. Make sure your HIPAA security risk assessment is done annually if you are in the MIPS program. Remember, there's no private right of action under the federal law. Patient complaints have tripled over the last several years. Cyber threats This is by far the worst we have ever been. Any group that's had a breach of over 500 individuals must be put on this list. Healthcare industry has become a prime target for cyber criminals due to the vast amount of sensitive patient data it holds and the criticality of its operations. Big problem, big problem. Healthcare is a major target. Remember this, data is worth more than oil. Data is worth more than oil. Hacking is a multi-billion-dollar industry. The risks are low, the reward is high. Systems like EMR systems, telemedicine system, email, and other software as a service technologies bring numerous benefits, but they certainly expand entry points for cyber criminals. Protecting these digital assets is essential to maintaining the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of patient information. You have to have good technology. Don't go cheap on your technology. Ransomware is the #1 way data is breached in the world, and that certainly includes medical information. Ransomware. What is ransomware? Basically, a ransomware attack is when an adversary encrypts a victim's data and offers to provide a decryption key in exchange for payment. Never transmit your access controls. Now, ransomware comes through fake emails. Ransomware, again, is the #1 way data is breached in the world. The #1 way data is breached in healthcare by a long shot. The malicious code seeks out every file share, every folder, and every database you're connected to. It will attack them and it will encrypt them with the virus. Now you can't get your stuff back until you pay the criminal X amount of Bitcoin. Now, what makes this so bad is OCR made this official in 2019. A ransomware attack, if it attaches to unencrypted PHI, is now a reportable breach. It is a reportable breach because the bad guy has taken possession or control of the data. If your data was already encrypted, it would not be a breach. So, bottom line, do not put any medical information into any folders, any file shares, or any databases unless it's encrypted. Real quick about the massive breach we just had with Change United Healthcare. OCR HIPAA audits. We've got these audits going on, random audits as well as audits that are done due to a complaint or due to a breach. So in the HIPAA audit program, OCR, if it's just a random audit, OCR generally, well, it's going to happen random or not, but they're definitely going to review policies and procedures adopted and employed by covered entities and their business associates to meet the selected standards and implementation specifications of the privacy, security, and breach notification rules. The audit protocol last updated July of 2018. That's where we are today. That is still current, and this is the link to the web page that talks about the audit process will begin with a verification of an entity's address and contact information. The audit program's on pace and OCR is committed to transparency about the process. OCR has posted updated audit protocols on its website. OCR's audits enhance industry awareness of compliance obligations and enable OCR to better target technical assistance regarding problems identified through the random audits. So here's what the letter looks like if it's just the random audit. Now this is not spurned from a complaint. You're receiving this notice because you've been selected to complete the pre-audit screening questionnaire. And then you can submit questions. You must complete and submit online through their secure portal. And then there's, a link to the questionnaire. Covered entities and business associates will be notified of their selection for an audit on a rolling basis. If you're selected, it will either be a focused desk audit to review your documents, or it'll be a comprehensive on-site review, or it will follow up, like if you fail the desk audit, there may be a follow-up on-site audit. Current director, Melanie Fontes Rayner, that's the current OCR director, and that generally is who would sign off on this. So here's the questions, the pre-screening questions. Does your organization or another entity on your behalf conduct healthcare transactions like submitting claims electronically? Do you maintain or transmit PHI in electronic form? Identify whether any of the covered entities for which you provide business associate functions are OHCAs or ACEs. This is a real audit letter. Criminal penalties. A person who knowingly obtains or discloses individual identifiable health information in violation of the privacy and security rules may face a criminal penalty up to $50,000 and up to 1 year in prison. Couple factors that can spurn an audit. A breach. So we want to prevent those best we can. Internal staff not being well educated, clicking on links they shouldn't. A disaster that did not go well. Areas of concern, risk analysis not done or incomplete. Policies not consistent with procedures. Templates, cookie cutter templates that make no sense. Lack of education. The HIPAA security rule brings in most of the violations. Update policies annually. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much for this session. And that's conclude the session for today. Thank you everyone for participating. You may all disconnect now and have a great day ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.